As we honor Dr. Johnson AKINLEYE on his upcoming retirement as Chancellor of North Carolina Central University, I want to give a little background history. The mentoring fruit does not fall far from the mentoring tree. I want to present a unique, unusual, one-of-a-kind mentorship lineage. Dr. Harry V. Richardson was the founding president of the Interdenominational Theological Center in Atlanta, Georgia. He was also George Washington Carver's pastor, and he eulogized Dr. Carver when Dr. Carver passed away. And Dr. Richardson was the only mentor of Oswald P. Bronson at the presidential level. Many were inspired by Harry V. Richardson. Many were in awe of Dr. Richardson. Many were advised by Harry V. Richardson. Some might have been coached by Harry V. Richardson. But no one had the distinction of being mentored and groomed at the presidential level by Harry V. Richardson other than Oswald P. Bronson. As it was with Harry V. Richardson and Oswald P. Bronson, so was it with Oswald Bronson and Johnson O. AKINLEYE. In 1968, Dr. Bronson began serving as the second president of the Interdenominational Theological Center, or ITC for short. It's located in Atlanta, Georgia. It was the same year Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. After the assassination, Dr. King's widow, Coretta Scott King, and his father, Reverend Martin Luther King Sr., affectionately known as Daddy King, came to Dr. Bronson asking if he could use his influence to help them find an office space where they could start the King Center. Dr. Bronson remembered that there was an empty space under ITC's library. Bronson let the King family have it for little or nothing. Because of Bronson, ITC became the first official location of the King Center. From that moment forward, Dr. Bronson became one of Daddy King's sons. In 1975, Dr. Bronson became the fourth president of Bethune-Cookman College, now university, and was the longest-serving president for almost 30 years. After his tenure at Bethune-Cookman was up, Bronson came out of retirement for 2 years to serve as president of Edward Waters College in Jacksonville, Florida. Many were inspired by Dr. Oswald P. Bronson. Many were advised by Dr. Oswald P. Bronson. But no one can claim being mentored and groomed at the presidential level by Oswald P. Bronson other than Johnson O. AKINLEYE. This is the mentorship lineage of Chancellor Johnson O. AKINLEYE.
North Carolina Central University looks to the future under new leadership tonight. CBS North Carolina's A.J. Janville joins us live from Durham. And A.J., there's quite a bit of excitement surrounding the university's new chancellor.
Yeah, Sean, that's right. That decision happened right here over my shoulder just a few minutes ago, where the UNC system announced that Johnson AKINLEYE would take the position as Central's new chancellor. Now, AKINLEYE actually held the position for most of the year as interim. He was a standout candidate. They tell me that this was an aggressive process, essentially meaning that they had to make a decision a lot faster than they usually do. Starting back in January is when they created a committee to go through the 30 applicants that they got for this position. Officials here say that his connection to the UNC school system is something that made him stand out amongst the other dozens of candidates.
Chancellor.
And Johnson's skills and attributes and leadership and track record, we had a near perfect match. And so it's really when the process works this well, it's very gratifying. The right person is the 12th chancellor.
When Dr. Shepard founded this school, he made a promise to the students who came through the door that they would get a quality education that would help them and transform their lives. So we continue that promise today, and the only difference is that we call it Eagle Promise. We wanted to put together another 5-year plan that would determine how we teach, how we train our students, how we prepare them for the marketplace, what we need to do in research, what we need to do in innovation. And I'll tell you this, people used to think that NCCU is a master's comprehensive institution. That we are, but we are also research intensive. Last year alone, through our 2 centers, we generated in sponsored research $33.1 million. You wouldn't find that at a master's comprehensive institution around the country.
There's a big need to have scientists be able to work on clinical trials. About 3 years ago, people here at NCCU started working on how do we get a clinical sciences research program here. And through a whole lot of work and working with Duke, we were able to get the program started, and it's run by Dr. Tracy Locklear.
The Clinical Research Sciences program is built under the Bright Institute because the Bright Institute focuses on biomanufacturing and drug discovery and development. The Clinical Research Sciences program is well positioned within the Institute because it focuses on picking up where the Bright Institute leaves off from the drug discovery and manufacturing straight into clinical trials and clinical research more broadly.
My experience so far, we've been learning good clinical practices, we've been learning the principles of clinical research. So both they've been quite enlightening, and they've contributed a lot to what I know so far about clinical research.
Our students, after they graduate, roughly 85% of them get employed in the life sciences, and roughly 80% stay in the state. So if the goal of the Institute is workforce development for the state of North Carolina, then I think we're doing an excellent job.
We are also emphasizing innovation, research, and entrepreneurship because if you look at the way that we're moving out into the marketplace, how could our students be competitive? And so we try to create a hub on our campus here that can show our students who have ideas in entrepreneurship, how would they put it together, how do they secure the funding, innovation and research.
The Fab Lab is a creative space where students are allowed to explore their ideas and create their ideas and hopefully bring us a new and innovative future.
Dr. Salim has really done an amazing job of creating a safe space where you're able to bring forth your identity and use that as a power. It's your superpower, who you are. And this is a space that always keeps that front and center. My major actually is computer science and business. I have a dual degree. And the way that the Fab Lab works is that it allows you to actually get that practical experience. You know, we think a lot about theory, about SWOT analysis, about financial analysis, but we usually don't ask the question of how do you actually apply that to a real world business. And the Fab Lab allows you to work on projects from local entrepreneurs to support the African American community or to support the Durham community overall. And you're able to bring in all of those theories and actually apply them. Sometimes they don't work, but most of the times they do.
One of the strengths of NCCU is our music program. We have the best jazz studies program in the world, nationally acclaimed.
What this program did for me personally was it brought out the best in me that I never saw in me, that I never knew was in me. This program finds your skill level, your talent. They meet you at the level you are as a student, and they pinpoint your strengths, and they pinpoint your weaknesses and your skills and your talent and your musicianship, and then they give you the tools and knowledge necessary to strengthen them. This program really stresses the tradition of the music, the history of the music, the core values of it. It's been a dream come true for me.
The Jazz Studies program teaches life skill. To be a musician, you have to have discipline, self-motivation, learn how to work with groups, learn how to dig deep within yourself to find who you are. And so many of those things are what we do, regardless of what discipline you're in.
In the state of North Carolina, we are the only institution that offers visual impairment. The only HBCU and the only institution that offers that program. These are emerging programs that will create the workforce for tomorrow.
Everything we do in preparing teachers for careers and what have you, though, is always in service to others. And so that's very much where our program sits within its responsibilities to the state, as well as individuals in the state that need those services.
I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa when I was 20 years old. It is a degenerative retinal disease. It's slow progressing, so about 17, 18 years after my diagnosis, I had to stop driving, I had to stop working, and I needed to figure out something to do with the second half of my life. Once I got into my own program to relearn things that I took for granted, cooking, taking care of my home, walking without tripping or falling over things, I learned of a need for teachers, for students with visual impairment. And I decided that I wanted to rise to the challenge and help meet that need.
I tell people all the time, North Carolina Central University used to be the best kept secret. We don't want it to be that anymore. Our exposure internationally and globally is very important. Not only do we want our students to go out, but we also want to recruit, students from there, because when they come, they make our campus better. They make our students better. And so that's part of the strength of this university. In arts, in humanities, in sciences, in law, we're doing very well. And we will continue to tell that story. But we're trying to position ourselves as a master's comprehensive institution that can compete with any school and anywhere in the world. And that's what we want our students to be able to do.
Another UNC system school will have a leadership change. NC Central University Chancellor Johnson AKINLEYE announced today he's retiring. As Monica Casey reports, the school has reached many milestones under his leadership over the last 8 years.
Johnson AKINLEYE came to NC Central in 2014 and was appointed Chancellor in 2017. He will retire at the end of this semester.
I came to that campus in 1996 and left with a family.
Tamika Bowden is the president of NC Central's Alumni Association. She tells me she believes AKINLEYE has fulfilled his promises.
When I came to Central, my incoming class was the largest. And that was over 20 years ago. But to see now that those classes have quadrupled, there's a Chick-fil-A, there's Starbucks.
During his tenure, AKINLEYE led the university to records in enrollment and fundraising. He also invested in safety and security and spearheaded major infrastructure projects, including a new student center, school of business, and multiple residence halls. In a statement, he wrote, quote, "We take with us very fond memories of an institution that has a rich tradition and legacy and will continue to make great strides in championing education for generations yet to come." In Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
The university says a nationwide search will be conducted for AKINLEYE's replacement. His last day at work will be June 30th.